Welcome to the Hydrogeology course. This is Upender, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering in Anurag Engineering College. Today I would like to explain about water cycle from this course. What is meant by hydrologic cycle? It is also known as the water cycle. It describes the continuous movement of water within the earth to atmosphere system. Describes the continuous movement of the water within the earth to atmosphere in the form of evaporation. When the water gets heated with the help of solar radiation, that water is slowly evaporates into the atmosphere. Evaporates, and when water it changes into liquid state to gaseous state, the particle sizes decreases, means the gravity will doesn't affect to the water vapor. It is freely lifted into the atmosphere in the form of water vapor. From the atmosphere to the earth surface in the form of precipitation. Gaseous state to liquid state. It involves various processes that move water through different phases, liquid, vapor and solid, across different locations. The main components of the hydrological cycle includes evaporation, condensation, precipitation, infiltration, percolation, runoff and storage or groundwater. Coming to the evaporation, when the water bodies on the surface get heat absorption through the sun. When the water heats, it converts into the vapor. Evaporation means it is the change of state of matter from liquid state to the gaseous state with the help of solar radiation. It is called as evaporation. Evaporation is the two types. They are transpiration and evapotranspiration. Here what is meant by transpiration? The water escapes from the leaves of the trees, plants or vegetation. Water escapes from the leaves of the trees or plants. It is called as transpiration. What is meant by evapotranspiration? Evapotranspiration is the combination of the transpiration and evaporation. The water particles or water vapor escapes from the leaves of the trees, and the water vapor escapes from the wet soil is called as evapotranspiration. Coming to the condensation, what is meant by condensation? It is change of state of matter from liquid vapor to the liquid. The evaporated air escapes from the earth to the atmosphere. Here forms clouds. When the water vapor cools down, it forms a clouds. When the water vapor cools down, it forms a clouds. This process is called as condensation. Coming to the precipitation, it is defined as the water particles fall from the atmosphere into the earth surface in the form of liquid. If the water drops fall in the form of snow, is called as snowfall. It falls in the form of ice crystals or lumps. Ice lumps is called as hail. Fall from the ice particles, it is called as sleet. Forms of precipitation mainly depend upon the diameter of the particles. If the dia of the raindrop, dia of the raindrop d is equals 0.5 mm and intensity I is equals 1 mm per hour. If the diameter of the water drop is greater than 0.5 mm and intensity is greater than 1 mm per hour. Intensity is greater than 1 mm per hour. It is called as rainfall. If the diameter is less than 0.5 mm and the intensity is less than 1 mm per hour, is called as drizzle. Drizzle mainly occurs in winter seasons. Intensity is less than 1 mm per hour and diameter is less than 0.5 mm. It is called as drizzle fall. And diameter of the water droplet is greater than 8 mm. Diameter d is greater than 8 mm. It is called as hail. The size of the ice lumps or the ice crystals is greater than 8 mm is called as the hailstorm. And what is mean by sleet precipitation or sleet fall? The water droplets coming from the atmosphere into the earth surface zone, the temperature below the freezing level. The temperature is below the freezing level. The water droplets is converted into the ice crystals. It is called as sleet form. Forms of precipitation. First one is rainfall. Second one, drizzle. Third one, snowfall. And fourth one, hail form. These are the forms of the precipitation. Coming to the infiltration, what is mean by infiltration? The top surface of the soil absorbs the water during the rainy seasons. The infiltration mainly occurs in the rainy seasons. The water falls from the atmosphere to the earth surface. The top surface of the soil particles absorbs the water or rain, precipitation water. It absorbs the precipitation water. Infiltration depends upon the porosity. It depends upon the porosity or wide ratio. Porosity or wide ratio of the soil particles. Wide ratio of the soil particles. Porosity means the gap between the soil particles. Gap between the soil particles is called as porosity. Next one, percolation. What is meant by percolation? It is also similar to the infiltration. The water deeply absorbed or deeply infiltrate into the soil. It is called as percolation. First, when the precipitation occurs, topsoils absorbs water. Topsoil absorbs the water. Slowly infiltrate deeper into the soil. Layers. It is called as a percolation. It mainly depend upon the depth below the ground level. It is called as a percolation. Next one, runoff. It is defined as the water freely flowing on the ground surface and finally reaches into the streams, rivers, lakes, oceans. Last one, storage. The water finally stored into the runoff. All the runoff will collected or goes into the oceans or rivers, and it finally reaches to the aquifers. It means reservoirs. The water finally reaches into the groundwater table, and the above the ground table, the water finally reaches into the rivers, oceans, lakes, etc. Below the ground surface, the water reaches into the aquifer or the ground table. Here, aquifer is the water storage place or the reservoir. Here, aquifers again classified into two types. They are unconfined aquifers and confined aquifers. What is mean by unconfined aquifer? It is defined as the groundwater between the permeable and impermeable layers of the earth crust. It means, for example, this is the ground level. The mainly water source, aquifer water source, is the infiltration and percolation, precipitation also. Topsoil is the permeable. Permeable means it allows or it passes water through it. The permeable layer means it allows or passes water through it, is called as permeable layer. In unconfined aquifer, the top layer is the permeable layer. It means it allows the water into the ground level, and bottom layer is impermeable layer. It means the water doesn't allow. It means water accumulates on impermeable layer. The zone between the permeable to impermeable zone is called as unconfined aquifer zone. Coming to the confined aquifer, the water table or the groundwater between the two impermeable layers. Impermeable layers means the water, it means doesn't allow waters, but how here groundwater table occurs, how here groundwater occurs. The rock fissures, when the groundwater reservoirs, the water resources on the ground level, it means lakes, reservoirs, oceans, rivers, the rock fissures directly connect to the surface resources, surface water resources. Here confined aquifers are recharged with the help of the groundwater reservoirs or the groundwater resources through the rock fissures is called as confined aquifer. Okay, thank you.